Hey y'all, welcome to another
Going on,
episode.
guys?
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry about that. Welcome to another episode of the Graver Horse podcast with me and Tom. That intro was a small dedication to my boy Bruno, who passed last month. He had a form of cancer that was pretty aggressive, and we just had to do the humane thing to, yeah. Shout out to my boy Tenchi Arts GT for that animation of me and him. You didn't have to do that, but it was a nice surprise. Means a lot. But yeah, anyway, welcome to the episode that was supposed to happen last week and then the week before that, but time constraints. Doing the whole Friday 13th as like a whole series kind of review. We kind of rushed a little bit towards the end. We could probably do that again some other time, but it was still a lot of fun. It was great having my friends on as well, and now we're here to the what also took long, just as well, not as long as the movies themselves, but the Freddy versus Jason script hell episode is what the name we're going with. Because man, this is a doozy. There's like so many ridiculous things that have happened between like the what was it the term the conception or the thought of it, and then script one. All right, we got this idea. No, script two. All right, let's try this. No. What if we put these two together and then try? No. And they just said, "Fuck it, see what sticks to the wall." And eventually, they did what they did. And then, in the midst of potentially losing rights to what was it, Jason? Right? That
well, yeah.
go ahead. You could do it. You can say it.
Well, so keep in mind, everybody, the end product of the movie all took kind of their own liberties from the original script from Abernathy. Now, mind you, this was crafted during kind of like the late 80s and the 90s, but essentially they gave Abernathy, excuse me, a bunch of money to make a script Freddy vs. Jason. Now, the fun fact is this asshole took that money, wrote a script, and then that was it for him. So he was kind of laughing at the bank at that point, but yet it was kind of interesting reading the book about these multiple scripts, how people were hired on, then fired, hired on. Yes, that's the Titans. There it is. So I think the only person that benefited initially was Louis Abernathy because he wrote the script, went to the bank, cashed his check, and then now even the final film has influences from the original script.
See. um, yeah, and then with the midst of all that too, like I mentioned, without losing the rights, maybe I'm skipping a little bit ahead, but just to make sure they didn't lose the rights to Jason, Jason X happened.
Yeah, that was a good old filler, if
Yeah,
you want to call it
quite
that.
quite the filler. Um, so yeah, I guess since we started with Abernathy, you want to go ahead and go over the plot. I guess the way this episode will be is kind of like I want to say bullet points, but we'll mention the script, talk about the plot really quick, some little tidbits about that, and then just move on to the next one because there's like maybe 17 or so scripts.
Yeah, there's a lot of scripts,
We're
and
not
we
gonna
got
we're not gonna go through all of them.
yeah,
It should be about an hour episode.
yeah. We'll do our best to at least nail a couple of key points.
Yeah, some
But
of our favorites.
yeah, so as everyone would know, Jason Goes to Hell kind of put it out there in some ways that there would be a crossover of the Titans, if you will, of good old Freddy Krueger and then Jason Voorhees meeting somewhere at some point in the film. Now, I can only assume after the money was thrown at Louis Abernathy that it was just a cocaine-fueled,
Yeah,
wacky,
wacky tobacco,
almost almost cartoon-like script.
extremely. Yeah,
We got introduced to the Fredheads, a cult of Freddy, which would be introduced later on in Nightmare on Elm Street films. But then we also have very unique plot twists that involve a drug that would induce sleep, which would be hypnosil. In Freddy vs. Jason,
eventually, yeah. There was a lot
uh,
of mention of that. Different names.
yeah,
Yeah,
it was going through this different weird kind of like trial period where they're trying to figure out in what ways can they include these Fredheads with Freddy Krueger and like his bidding to have him do this shit in the real world so he can come back to life. We got a corrupt cop in this script
Yeah.
that that is just a menace to a bunch of youngsters all the time. We have the Freddy Mobile, which I love the
Oh yeah.
design they had in the book to show that. But above all
Yeah,
else,
I'm so bad.
the yes, please. Above all else, we have in this film where a lovers wouldn't be a quarrel, but a lovers. If there's a Freddy Mobile, by the way, fucking awesome. I would love to see that in the big screen, dude. It was completely like blueprinted out, how it would look and its colors, how the engine would be built. Just what you saw in the first Nightmare on Elm Street, essentially, but more like cocaine and steroided up for that film. But what we would see for Jason Voorhees is him coming back to life with
Always.
a dead boyfriend's heart to
How many
resurrect him.
times in the scripts was that? Like most of them, I think.
Oh yeah, well,
A good chunk. If not just that,
technically,
but like also like the boyfriend of like the protagonist was named Jason.
yes, yes, and with the scripts, jumping ahead a little bit. Technically, we have a film where they don't even exist.
Oh yeah.
Which that's this whole different thing. But the Abernathy script was the predecessor for what would be complete rewrites, different scripts, handoffs, et cetera. And why I tell you that the teaser we had last episode, the climax of the film says it all. We have Jason and Freddy in a ring, a boxing ring. After even before the tomfoolery we're going to discuss, where we have Ted Bundy as a ring announcer.
Let's get ready to remove.
We have Hitler in the crowd with his fucking girlfriend, which okay. And then we get this wacky, almost cartoon Popeye-esque kind of boxing match between Freddy and Jason, to which I highly recommend reading that part of the script because if you're into slapstick comedy with horror like Evil Dead, like this is right up your alley for shit. So, but that's a brief synopsis of the Abernathy script.
Yeah, I'm looking for that part real quick.
Yeah, take your time. I'll talk.
Yeah.
So with this script, it was the again like the original Freddy vs. Jason script, and it involved Fred heads, it involved the cult, it involved Freddy, it involved Crooked Cop, it involved these teenagers, and then the girlfriend putting her boyfriend's heart into Jason, and Jason can drive now all of a sudden. He can drive an ambulance.
Yeah. I found it,
Um,
the Nightmare Arena. But go ahead and finish your thought there.
yes, we have really weird plot points where like the main protagonist can kind of dream hop in a sense, which we saw within the Freddy vs. Jason film. But also we have really obscure obscure things where we have Jason become a good guy at the end of the film, but even though he
Mhm.
murdered a bunch of fucking teenagers in the past, he now has become like a redemption story in some ways.
See, the body count was the friends we made along the way.
Yeah.
Hey, kiddo. All right, so the Nightmare Arena. I'm gonna read the whole like thing.
Please.
So yeah, near scripts end. The cultists take over televangelism studio W God
Oh,
or
the
whatever.
fucking moon scene.
Yeah, where they plan to live broadcast an unholy marriage ceremony uniting Freddy with a now brainwashed Lizzie. Lizzie is the main protagonist's like little sister or whatever, because the Freddy cultists needed to get a virgin person
Yeah.
to yeah, a lot of these scripts they really egg on the fact of Freddy being a PDF. That's as much as I'll say.
Hmm.
Moving forward, the studio soon converged upon by Jason, the teenage heroes, and the state police for a violent showdown. Seeing Jason in action, a spooked Freddy hastily retreats into the dreamscape with Megan and Lizzie, so sisters, closing the portal behind him. Thinking fast, Irwin double injects Jason with dream dope so that he can follow after them. The Titan stumbles forward before literally falling asleep, landing in what the script calls Nightmare Arena. Had Nightmare 13 been realized, this would have been the sequence still talked about today. And here's the sequence. He describes the Nightmare Arena as a boxing ring from hell with ropes made of entrails and corner posts topped by severed heads. Demons, monsters, and zombies comprise the uproarious crowd. Real life serial killer, Ted Bundy, like you mentioned, steps forward as the announcer, dubbing this the fight of the century. The crowd cheers Freddy's entrance but boos Jason. Bundy declares the winner will get Megan and Lizzie, who hang caged above the ring. Among the spectators are infamous figures from history such as Lee Harvey Oswald, Adolf Hitler, Eva Braun, and Benito Mussolini.
Yes, you heard that correctly.
Yeah. Again, wild script, and this is just the first one. The match begins with Freddy easily overpowering Jason, who is unable to connect a single punch. One missed blow decapitates Bundy, whose head goes flying off into the audience, who then devour it. Jason eventually gets the upper hand, at which time Freddy downs a rotten can of spinach, a hearty blend of worms and maggots, and a foul parody of Popeye. His arms and chest rapidly expand. Freddy then pulverizes his opponent, driving him into the ring floor, even beneath it. With his head forced under the mat, Jason begins to drown in the dark abyss. He once again flashes back to his adolescent death and suddenly realizes his killer then and now are one and the same. That was another thing too. A lot of these scripts really wanted to have the reason for them to be pitted against each other was because Freddy was the one that killed Jason, amongst other things. Very gross things.
Yes.
The Titan explodes up through the mat, grabbing Freddy by the throat. Their tremendous upward momentum propels them through the arena ceiling and back to reality inside the W God studio. So yeah, that was a Nightmare Arena. That definitely would have been talked about a lot. I'm sure that would have been parodied to hell.
Oh,
Pun
absolutely.
intended. Nowadays, especially with like scary movie.
Yeah, man. I mean, honestly, I would have loved to seen that though,
Oh, same.
recreation of it, man, or something. A lot of these scripts, there's some that are just again gross, some that are just fucking dumb ideas. But then the Abernathy one, the original one, was just I would
Yeah,
have loved to seen just the at that time the campiness with the slapstick, with the horror elements, just to see how it would all come to transpose and for the final product.
I'd love to see who they would have casted as those terrible people.
Oh yeah, I would have been curious. Was that fucking guy from Beetlejuice? Oh Jesus, man, yeah, he would have fit right in with that one.
Oh yeah,
Um, but it's really unique though that we the first script for Freddy vs. Jason was so far removed from the end product. I mean, even though it has the some of the elements that seem to always go through each script rewrite, it was a far removed product. But yeah, I kind of would have loved to seen that first.
yeah. Like give us a multiple choice.
Yes, oh, it would have been fantastic. I
That
would
would
have.
have been. Oh, actually, that too. What is it? I think for one of the later scripts, again, a little bit of back and forth. Sorry, y'all. Um, out of the three, pardon me if I'm butchering his last name, Botan or Botan.
Eddie
That
Spotton.
Botan. Okay, well, yeah. Like out of like the three rewrites that happened with his, I think towards the last one before he kind of just like disappeared. He somebody had I think Cunningham or somebody involved with them
Cunningham.
wanted to try to do like what is it, two different endings like how they did with Clue back in the
Hmm.
day, and like there's like cool idea, but God no, we can't do that.
Well,
Like
no.
but yeah, so that's the Abernathy one. And then it got rewritten with what's his name, again I don't want to butcher these names. Show.
Works for me.
Yeah, works for me too. um let's see. Oh yeah, what is it? The difference with the rewrite was Jason wasn't found at Eternal Peace Cemetery. A lot of the scripts he was found at the bottom of the lake.
Yeah, which that would become a trope with the film itself. I never. What kind of really always maybe peculiar about Jason is that in the original in the final script he's afraid of water, but we see him in fucking
Yeah,
multiple films in
water.
Crystal Lake, water, everything. It's like, so do you just kind of retcon that shit? Obviously they
Just
did.
walk it off. Walk it
But
off,
we
big
get
boy.
this. It's just very curious because in all most films, like Jason obviously is like a dumb redneck by all means, and I guess they kind of really lean into that with him in water or some sort of drive that he's not intelligent, he knows how to kill. Like he's always very just a zombie brain essentially at the end of the day. But I
A deadite,
always,
if you will.
I mean, let's get a
Comic
little bit
cycle
too.
again.
Yeah, I wish we could have fucking saw that too.
Oh, that would be
And that
cool.
I have
But like,
both the comic book series with Ash, Freddy, and Jason. Man, peak.
yeah, another little fun fact for I'm sure not many people know. But yeah, a while back they had did some comics and stuff. Was Freddy versus Jason and Ash? Was that right?
Freddy,
Or
Freddy versus Jason versus Ash. So
there
Freddy
you go. Yeah,
versus
Freddy
Jason
versus Jason
versus
versus Ash,
yeah.
and then it was brought up that Pamela Voorhees used the Necronomicon to bring Jason back, and then therefore making him officially a Deadite. And I
Yes.
guess they had asked about that, and they're like, "Yeah." It's like okay, like all right, cool. He's a Deadite. That explains everything.
Yes, and what's funny is on those comic books, there's a part one of the series, there's a part two, which part two involves Freddy Krueger becoming the president of the United States of America and then making Jason beautiful. Which
Shit,
please go, please go fucking read that
I
comic
didn't
book.
find
It
that now. Jesus.
yeah, in part two, it begins with which is so weird. It begins with Ash cooking like grilling out back at his place, and then his girlfriend's there. And then Jason out of nowhere shows up, knows where he fucking is, just somewhere, just decapitates his girl, and starts
Oh,
taking Ash. It's like, what the fuck's going on already, dude?
this is not groovy by all
And,
means.
but then Freddy ends up getting the Necronomicon and starts doing with his shit, and he becomes the president of the United States and makes Jason his right hand man, like Secretary of like Defense, if you will, in a sense. Jason has long blonde hair. His skin's all cleared up. He dons two machetes like some fucking like Ryan Gosling looking motherfucker at the end of the day, man.
It's better than handsome Squidward.
Shoot. So I mean, you can see again we're jumping back and forth, but the those scripts were meant, or those comics were meant for a movie eventually. They were meant to
Oh,
be
sure.
something.
Yeah.
But also know Bruce Campbell was kind of iffy about the pay they're going to give him too, was kind
No,
of
of
led that to
course.
be production hell and everything like that.
It's like just pay your people, guys. All people want to see is people get just chopped up and just have a good time.
I
But
mean, yeah,
like in a later script, I forgot who mentioned it, but it's like you guys are overthinking this, and it took like 20 something years. It's just you got Freddy, you got Jason, have them do their thing, ended in a big old gory mess, and that's it.
you really can't, and that's what's kind of really fun to me about a lot of these slasher films during that past time. Even just Friday the 13th, you know, look at Just Goes to Manhattan, a dumb fucking plot for a film, but
Yep.
damn, those kills were fucking fantastic. Those, and
And to
also,
quote David again, Jason didn't take Manhattan. Manhattan took Jason.
yeah. But then you have Freddy Krueger to where, you know, I loved everything up until Dream Warriors. I love Dream Warriors. After that, I mean, outside from New Nightmare, it became its own almost again, like a comedy cartoon parody in
Yeah.
and of itself. And then now you go Jason Goes to Hell, which I still love to kind of tie into Freddy versus Jason. That the director got a lot of death threats due to the way they killed off Jason at the beginning of the film, as well as how
Yeah.
the film went. But then to lead off at the end of the film with Freddy's glove grabbing the mask, and then the wild ride that the script went through, like involving a court case. Yes, a court case
Oh yeah, that's one of them
involving
too.
um
That one's a doozy,
involve
y'all. Again, apologies in a sense. Like this episode may seem like a lot of back and forth, but everything that's going on that we've read and that we've like researched upon is this messy.
it really is. Even with like nowadays, to which off topic, but is the case done with Friday the 13th? I thought I saw Sean Cunningham was saying like they everything got settled finally.
I would assume so to some degree. I mean, they got that prequel show coming out, and apparently there's some new figurines coming out too. Because
Yeah, through NECA.
yeah, and surprisingly through NECA, because then NECA had a whole fucking line of like really great stuff coming out. Then the rights thing happened. They're like, "Yo, shut this shit down," and everything just got fucking scrapped. And then that game was gone too. Hell yeah, Jason took the biggest L right now. What up,
It's
David?
that fucking with some waters, man. It's them waters, man.
Water, man.
But also too, that kind of gets me curious now because the video. Well, that's if the studio wants to do it. But now the video game, in theory, could come back.
Oh yeah, true. To some degree, I'm sure.
Yeah, because I do have some memories like enjoying playing the video game. I would
Yeah,
love
it
to
was goofy. It
see
was
a
funny.
crossover with Freddy versus Jason for that, 'cause they teased Jason
Oh yeah, that'd
X
be
as a
nice.
playable
Yeah,
DLC character, but unfortunately with the fucking lawsuits
yeah.
and whatever didn't happen. But
Shut it down. Nah.
pretty much all over the rights for the Friday the 13th, who made it first, blah
Yeah.
blah blah.
And then speaking about that too, like that was another big issue with this whole like making this movie because of the fact that like, oh well, was it New Line and then who else was it?
Was it Paramount or New
I,
Line? New
I
Line
think it
and then
was New Line.
shit.
I can't remember the other one because there's again, guys, there was so much back and forth with this. It's fucking nutty. But New
Yeah, it
Line
was
gets mentioned like way much in here. But yeah, it was just a lot of things of like, oh, well, we have the rights, so we're gonna produce it. We want our guy to win. It's like, oh no, well, we
yeah.
want our guy to win. There was no like middle ground or like I said, maybe multiple endings or some shit just to get a little something. But everyone was just fighting over shit for way too long. And then, as I said, as I'm gonna repeat, like there was the whole thing of losing rights and stuff, and then Jason X just had to be made just because. And it's funny because one of the scripts actually has like a bit of like not a prequel, but like I guess like a concept design of Jason X during
hmm
one of the scenes and stuff before it all happened, and it's just kind of funny, like, oh hey, look, he's right there.
Well, yeah,
But
dude. I mean, a lot of the scripts involving everything up to Freddy versus Jason, too. I mean, even compared to that one epic, I've got the director's name, but he had like an epic plot where like they would go back, Freddy Jason would go to hell, and then they have to go back, I believe, to Earth or some shit like that, and basically have a killing contest.
yeah, I
Um,
remember that one. I don't remember the name exactly. I'm gonna look through it right now. But real quick, the next thing you were gonna talk about, the Braga Moore draft, that's the court case. I'm gonna look for
yeah,
that prize one because I think that one was my favorite.
yeah, that had a lot more continuity. I mean, even though it was still fucking wacky, um, it had a lot more continuity to it than the other ones. And with the core case one though,
Oh,
would
also
you
real quick,
all?
the court case was where they mentioned it's Jason 2010 coming soon.
It's which is yes, there it is, there it is. It was what was that? What's that word for? A meta kind of fucking
Yeah,
script where it was
yeah. Ruby
referencing.
passed by the theater, notices an advertisement for another fictional sequel, Jason 2010, that includes a standee of Robo Jason, a strange robotic Terminator like Jason with a steel hockey mask and glowing electronic eyes. Yes, the resemblance to Jason X is positively uncanny.
So I'm saying they still took previous scripts and made it into films, even though like they still did not have any idea how to make this film whatsoever. So you got to factor in with the court case one and stuff like that. It all ends, I believe, in a mall, right? Where they have a big like mall sequence, I believe.
Yeah, that's where
Where
the Jason 2010 thing came from.
yeah, basically Freddy Krueger.
I got it right here if you want me to go through it.
Yeah, please.
All right, let's see. Shopping mall sequence. In the app, oh yeah, there was that whole master. Well, actually, court case. You want to explain like what the heck exactly why it was a court case?
So
Jason X was foretold in sacred text. I see.
yeah, so Jason, so there was a guy that was inspired, or I guess in layman's terms, wanted to be Jason Voorhees, kind of like the imposter Jason in some ways from what was it, part four or part five,
Yeah,
um, and started to recreate, these killings, but he was human, but he couldn't sleep at all, and they couldn't figure out why. But he got caught at Camp Crystal Lake, so I think he killed like two people, and they finally caught him, put him in cuffs. But then they're saying that the Friday the 13th films never happened, that Jason was fictitious, he's a fictional character. But he still is Jason. Like a lot of really confusing context into how this person claims to be Jason Voorhees, but he's human, but doesn't sleep at all. But then when he sleeps, he has this ability to or goes to the dreamland with Freddy Krueger. Um, I never would have thought the day where someone would write a script where you're having a quote unquote serial killer in court that is supposed to be, I would say, mythical fucking powers, that kind of shit. What's up?
No, no, I'm reading the chat,
Okay.
the comments. You're good.
Um, yeah, having Jason Voorhees then get knocked out for something, like they put him under some sort of surgery, whatever, but then Freddy Krueger pops out of his fucking body and then he comes in the real world, but then Jason has to go to the mall to stop him because Freddy has somehow taken over mind control of all these people and made their nightmares come to life in that sequence.
Stuff.
And
Yeah.
yet, like, Jason is still the good guy and talks again,
Oh yeah. One of
Um,
the few where he actually says actual words. Not a
yeah.
roar, not a scream, actual talking words.
Well, Jason Goes to Hell, technically, that's the only first time we saw in like in cinema where he can hear a vocalization, if you will, of the character, which that was even a doozy too. But um, yeah, so we get this whole court case thing that leads up into this mall, to where you saw Uber Jason at, but then Freddy Krueger has found a way to essentially make everybody's nightmares come to reality in real time. And Jason somehow can is there
Yeah.
to fight him, and you get this weird sequence where Jason opens a portal in his chest to drag Freddy back into the dream world. Followed by, I believe, some sort of like auction tick or something like that to, destroy everything. But you have Jason say like get away or leave or something like that, and then suck Freddy back into his chest, into the dream world, and they both die. And now we're here. Like it's I could be off, Pablo, but I think I'm pretty on point with how that went, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, because let's see. I'm looking through. Oh, and really quick too, another fun little bit about that script. Had their script been produced, they might have found an awkward company alongside such postmodern horrors as Halloween H2O, I Know What You Did Last
I
Summer, The Faculty, Disturbing
love the faculty
Behavior,
though.
and I fucks with it too, and Urban Legend.
Jesus.
Yeah, imagine
Yeah,
all those movies. Also, like that's a weird lineup,
very much a
but
weird lineup.
yeah,
And
for the most part, let me see. I'm looking at the last. Let's see, because there's a part where he supposedly turns into his mother.
yeah, yeah. Well, here, do me a favor. I just watch really quick. If you can talk about that part of the film, I'll be right back. Okay.
All right,
Sorry, guys.
you gotta go tinkle. All right, guys. So yeah, going to that part where they're facing off in the mall. There's this thing where it says Jason, having defeated this first waking nightmare, Jason strides through the burning mall toward Freddy, now wounded by a shotgun blast from Doctor Cena. Hockey Mask Titan is stopped by the sudden appearance of 50 upright body bags surrounding him on all sides. They unzip in unison and reveal all of Jason's victims throughout the years. Now return to attack him. Some old friends of yours would like to see you. Following this attack, Freddy makes an offer to his opponent. You're my creation, Jason. All that you owe to me. We're stronger together than we are apart. Join me, and this world will be ours. Ever the salesman, Freddy's burned visage transforms into Pamela Voorhees to further persuade his opponent into joining forces with him. Jason is unconvinced and slashes his mother's throat with Freddy's razor glove. Furious, a wounded Freddy attempts to re-enter the dreamscape through Jason. Like Tom mentioned, like yeah, there was like he slashed him in the gut or whatever, so he's trying to like jump in your boy. Pause. Um, through let's see, order to heal. Partway through this process, Ruby injects her client with the dream inhibitor, trapping the two killers together in a grotesque image. Freddy's upper body is stuck, jutting out from Jason's chest. The two titans are now a monstrous entity, clawing and fighting with one another. Jason turns to Ruby and mutters in a hoarse voice, "Get out!" She flees with Dr. Cena just as the Titan suicide by stabbing a propane tank, destroying Freddy along with him. So yeah,
Yep,
that
that's the one.
that one ends. They just all like fucking Quado from Total Recall. Come on, big boy, don't do it.
Well, so let me ask you, with Jason Voorhees in these scripts, it always seems like there's this obviously huge connection amongst Freddy and Jason, where Freddy is the obviously the evildoer, even though Jason's the killer.
Yeah,
Do you feel that Jason was kind of like they were trying to find a way to make him intelligent when they shouldn't have?
yeah. A lot of that had was a lot and very prevalent in the scripts. Um, like I mentioned before, like another big prevalent thing they try to do was, essentially Freddy being, PDF and all. They were trying to do that. Like, obviously, there's no fucking way. Like, Freddy's not cool. right off rip. Like, that is a terrible thing. And I guess like that was a thing that a lot of the script writers were trying to make as like a big point and like have that be the connection between him and Jason, as having Jason being one of his victims. And it's like, okay, like I feel with like the scripts and stuff, like they didn't have to go too much on that kind of subject. Like they could have
Yeah.
just went off and just made like its own kind of thing, like just a genuine reason why they're fighting each other, not have them like have Jason be a victim this entire time. Like I guess I get it, like his origin and stuff. Like yeah, he was a victim of like bullying and stuff and all that, but like to that degree was unnecessary. Um,
Yeah, absolutely.
but yeah, I did kind of like. I mean, the way they made Jason more intelligent per se. Because I mean, we all agreed the 2009, was it 2009? The 2009 reboot
Reboot
of
was
Friday the 13th. Yeah,
yes.
amazing. Like that Jason was fucking calculating. He knew what the fuck he was doing. Like kudos. We need more of that.
Well, shit,
Um.
I love that more compared to the fucking Nightmare remake they had.
Oh
That was
Lord,
fucking trash.
basura. That's garbage in Spanish. But yeah, that was bad. But yeah, I mean, I did do. I did do. I did like that they made Jason smarter and stuff, or try to make him smarter in these instances. Hell yeah, it was peak, my guy.
I mean that fucking badass scene alone where not to bring up, nudity, but that scene where the chick is sleeping topless and then the fucking just all no score, everything's quiet, then fuck and lift her up. Oh, my favorite scene too, the screwdriver, the Phillips head through the throat right there was
Oh
was
yeah,
oh, oh peak.
hit me like this,
Still
no, dude.
yeah, right through the throat.
Huh.
Oh man. So what I found funny too now, kind of going forward to the actual film, we have Freddy's intention now because we just discussed how extreme they kind of want to make Freddy, which
Yeah,
I can understand in a lot of the scripts why they want to make him extreme because we all are not a fan of PDFs. Um, but we have a now completely different thing to where Freddy needs Jason to make people scared again and make people go into dreamland because he's not powerful enough. But again, we have a fucking script to where Jason just somehow goes to Elm Street, wherever the fuck it is, and
oh yeah.
like I love how these scripts take Jason out of Crystal Lake in some sort of way when it's like this doesn't make any
You can
sense to
take
me at
the man out of
all.
Crystal Lake, but you can't take the Crystal Lake out of the man.
I guess the fuck not,
Like,
dude.
yeah, that really is another prevalent thing too. Or like they'll be at Crystal Lake for like a brief thing, and then it just switches out to like the middle of nowhere. They never like really mention like how far Crystal Lake and Elm Street are from each other, or if they're even in like the like oh it's just down the block. Like what the fuck?
Yeah,
Like
let's
damn, I feel
go.
like I feel like a quick vacay. Let me just walk outside my door. Oh look, I'm Crystal Lake now. I don't want to
Yeah,
sleep on Elm Street. Like,
and then like so kind of moving forward too, even with the script, there's a script in that book to where Freddy and Jason essentially get put into hell for I guess to be have like a ultimatum amongst who's the best killer, who's the best slasher, whatever, and it becomes a fucking killing contest, which I would love to see that as well.
yeah,
Seen
no, go ahead, go ahead. I'm
Okay.
looking for that one.
Oh, did that involve Pinhead, or was that something different? I'm
No,
trying to
that
recall
was,
right now.
if anything, that was probably one of those where they were trying to see how many references they can get away with because
Shocking.
the next, yeah, shocking, because the next script is actually the Briggs one, the one that I really liked, with that whole medieval shit and whatnot.
Yeah,
Um,
the old curse or whatever the hell it is.
and fucking Robert England doing double duty on acting portrayals. I'll read that
Yes,
one really quick. Um,
please.
so yeah, the plot of the Briggs draft. It was Freddy versus Jason opens in 17th century Italy with a witch hunter attempting to vanquish a sinister necromancer. The witch hunter succeeds, though the occultist vows to return when time reaches its close. Flash forward to late December 1999, where survivors from Jason Goes to Hell, specifically Steve and Jessica and their daughter Stephanie, and A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, the Dream Child, Alice and son Jacob, mysteriously cross paths in Bethlehem, Virginia.
Yeah,
Elsewhere in town, the FBI is tracking a murderous cult who manages to resurrect Jason Voorhees from hell. Meanwhile, Freddy-related activity has been ramping up throughout the world, with including everything from mass suicide pacts to alarming astrological phenomena. With Jason back to action and Freddy on the way, the new millennium is beginning to look the end of the world. That is, unless Freddy, Jason, and the mysterious unforeseen force behind them both can be stopped. Like I said, yeah, they this one there was a lot of not back and forth, but yeah, with the whole like old century Italy stuff and the witch hunter and all that stuff. The necromancer was going to be played by Robert England. So he'd be doing double duty, doing that whole first act of that movie, that script, and then eventually after he dies, um, he would come back as Freddy. But the thing too is like we were mentioning like, oh god, how many references and things can we borrow from other franchises? Like the opening sequence, the witch hunter unsheaths a pair of twin blades that resemble the ceremonial dagger from Jason Goes to Hell, which horror fans also recognize as the Kandarian dagger.
Kandarian dagger.
Yeah, from Evil Dead 2. Um, let's see. And then yeah, then there's a bunch of callbacks and references, directly mentions or winks at horror classics like Psycho, Halloween, Jaws, Phantasm, The Wicker Man, Hellraiser, The Hills Have Eyes, Shocker, The Omen, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And then beyond that, they also had FBI agents, Resner and Cobain, are clear references to the lead singers of Nine Inch Nails and Nirvana, respectively, because Briggs also works in the former band's music. He wanted to work those bands' music into the drafts.
Yes, and it goes to show you too, like you can have all these references and stuff like that, but still, the execution would have been very, very curious to see, with all those plot points and stuff like that into a film. But was it practical? I don't think so whatsoever.
And then yeah, this involved with them running through hell. And then you find out who was really behind it the whole time, and I think they're trying to make it like the devil.
Yeah, yeah, it's very much a thing. I again, I wish I was a fly on the wall in a lot of those production meetings.
Right? I want to see like
Something.
how many tables, like how many mirrors were there. Just to quote Metallica, "Chop your breakfast on the mirror." Like I want to
Yeah.
see how much coke and stuff they just had just lying around.
They had to
Like,
have
bro,
something like Black
some
Sabbath level fucking levels of cocaine there just to try to
things,
write a goddamn script.
fucking suits,
Oh yeah,
suits,
exactly. And
walking around looking like fucking powdered donuts.
well, it's interesting too. I don't know if that's changed nowadays, but I know at the time Jason had the
Oh,
highest kill count still amongst
oh yeah.
the slashers. To which that would have been in reference to the kill count kind of vibe with the Freddy vs. script for that one.
Sorry, did you see David's comment?
There's so much cocaine there you can get. I mean, yeah, yeah. Again, look at fucking Black Sabbath, and they're recording one of their albums. They had a bunch of cocaine. I imagine the studio and all the fucking screenwriters had a bunch of cocaine too, just from how outlandish these scripts were. And then now, like to even call forward with the actual final product for the movie, um, we see where, which I mean, I'm biased here, but it had that old 2000s feel to it for the horror movie slashes I loved. but also these weird call outs from the Abernathy script because we have the two dudes at the mental health institution that's in reference to the first script where they were a part of the Freddy Krueger experience essentially, and they're
Mm.
trying to now, go back and destroy him, even though they fuck things up in the film, by making people scared again. So I guess we look back at a
What do you
lot of these
say?
scripts.
Make America scared again?
Oh,
No.
Jesus Christ. Kick him out. Kick
All
him
right, I'm
out.
out. I'm sorry. I fired myself. Hey, well, just I'll make up for it because eventually we're gonna do the Halloween franchise. I'm gonna be like, Evil
Ooh,
dies tonight. Evil dies.
I had a
I hated that
rough,
too. That was rough.
I
But
had a rough time with those fucking films.
my boy Myers deserves better. Oh, and really quick, actually, I looked it up really fast about top kills. Jason used to have the most, but ever since Halloween ends, that put my boy Mike on me like Mike. That put him 15 kills over. About.
Well, well, wait a minute though. Could that change because of the fucking that Angry Orchard commercial with Jason?
No, fuck that. We didn't count that shit. You don't want to count that shit. Remaster story.
It's in a different universe. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying,
I
bro.
guess. And it's funny actually. Now that Carla just mentioned Corey, it's like that one meme. It's like I don't know the actor's name, and just to kind of like spoil the Silent Night Deadly Night remake, a little bit. Or yeah, if I had a nickel for every time that dude played a character that took someone else's powers, I'd have 2 nickels. Like it's weird, but like it's kind of funny. It happened twice.
Well, what's so peculiar too about that, and with the scripts, so wasn't there a script also? And forgive me again, it's a lot of information, folks. Read the
It's
book
a
if you're
mountain of
interested.
information.
Um, that involved shit. Where Jason was in like a jail cell, or was that in reference to the court one?
That might have been a reference to the court one.
Okay, Jesus Christ, yeah,
But
because
I think that was the only court one, if I recall.
well, it was the one where Freddy had the booger monster, I believe it was something like that. Where he had to
There was like
kill in a jail.
an amorphous blob that he used to try to kill Jason.
Yeah,
That
no,
was
it
the
was
one.
it was it was
No,
a chick he killed. She sneezed. I guess Freddy was in her nose, and she sneezed him out, and then this whole booger monster became a thing. Okay, hold on, I gotta look it up really quick.
yeah, that might be one of the later ones.
Yeah,
'Cause I was like, what the shit? Yeah, dude, because this shit's wild.
Freddy. It's in the later script, something like that.
Yeah,
But yes, there's a booger monster that's Freddy Krueger essentially. I was supposed they had sketches for it too. I think I believe in the book. Um, damn. Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. Some of that booger sugar.
well, I mean, yeah, we were talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah,
there.
you were, real quick, yeah, you were right. There was talks between Paramount and New Line Cinema.
Okay, it was Paramount. I wanted to make sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, there was Freddy. It was okay. So I kind of got a brief description for it, but this is part of one of the scripts.
do it.
Freddy shrank a girl down to microscopic size, snorted her up his nose, and while inside his nostril, the girl encountered a living booger monster, dubbed the Boogie Monster,
Haha, that's so original.
which, according to the script, resembled a gross, disgusting Jabba the Hutt. After escaping the Booger Monster, Freddy kills them both by sprinkling pepper into his nose and then loogie shotting them against the wall and then splatting them to death.
Creative.
Just think about it. The possibilities you could have saw a Freddy Krueger Boogie Monster essentially fighting off one of his victims in his nose.
Boogies, guys. Clean them
The Boogie
shit.
Monster.
And then
So I
there
mean,
was go ahead.
so good. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say then the Botan the Botan one is probably the messiest one because that was the one everyone unanimously agreed we are not making this shit.
Yeah, if you don't mind giving a quick description about that.
Because there was like 3 of them, man. Uh, this is very vast. I can't even just sum it. There's like three of them, bro. But yeah, I mean the what is it? Some of my little notes here. Story focuses on a group of teenagers who travel out to Crystal Lake for a weekend of wild partying. Wow, no one's ever done that before. Their drug of choice is a sketchy new sleep aid called somnambulin.
It's somnambulist, kind of like the from Dr. Caligari reference,
Oh,
pretty
okay.
much.
Yeah, a side effect of which enables its users to dream share. And like this script was thrown around about three fucking times because it was known as part of the Botan trio of
Hmm.
scripts. And the thing too is, it was it Botan? Wasn't he just like a like an effects guy or something?
Pretty much. He's
Yeah,
an
they just
effects guy.
and they threw him in as a director and like, what the fuck? And this man was like, what am I doing?
Pretty much. So you
I
can't expect a effects director or a guy to then all of a sudden top in directing boot or chair, you know?
yeah, and yeah, and then like so many sedatives, bottle aggressively warned against taking it with alcohol. They still did it. The main teenager, Samantha, which was renamed Lizzie from Botan's treatment, a 17-year-old with psychic powers who recently helped police catch Dominic Necros, which that was the name of the cult leader for the Abernathy
Yes.
thing originally, right?
Yes.
Um, murderous Freddy copycat. Her boyfriend is named, ironically enough, Jason. Again, like so many main characters, their significant others named Jason multiple times. But yeah, like this again, like I said, this was part of a trio of scripts that were extremely messy. Then I'm gonna move over to the next part. Goyer and Robinson submitted the first draft of the screenplay to Botten and New Line in late 1997, which the studio forwarded on to Cunningham Productions for consideration. And what may have been the first in the project's history, everyone was in agreement. This was simply not a version of Freddy vs. Jason anyone wanted to make, Botten himself included.
Which
Like
goes to
that's
show
crazy.
you,
Like so many, like what? How many did we just cover? Like what?
Jesus.
4 or 5? Four,
Something like that, yeah.
something like that. And like that's not even like all of them. Like in total, there was over 17. I guess we're not really counting the rewrites because technically that would be like double per se.
Hmm.
But yeah, like it's nutty.
It is. And I figure we have about 10 minutes left, so I mean we can discuss more, but we should discuss the film itself really quick.
Oh yeah,
This is all referencing back again to where I started beginning of the podcast. Sean Cunningham's script somehow still made it into the final film with a lot of references to, again, Hypnosil, which was dope. What's it called? Dope. Shit, you
yeah.
guys mentioned a little bit ago. Anyway, yes, with that
Oh, hypno
references to
dope.
Hypnodope, yes, Hypnodope, which would be Hypnosil in the film. We did end up having a weird Freddy monster-esque boogie master monster kind of thing in it. We had Freddy still finding a way to use Jason to bring him back. And we also had a means where we had a somewhat almost kind of like it reminded me of like kung fu films, the way they fought at the end of the film too. Still kind of
Yeah, very
yeah,
very for the era. Because okay, like I think the original thumbnail that I slapped together for this, it was them fighting in the fire and shit, right?
yes.
Yeah, and fucking was it Halloween H2O Resurrection? We got Busta Rhymes, hitting Michael, and fucking things are burning and like they're just fucking fisticuffs and shit. It's like, all right, this is totally
Yeah,
for its
dude.
time, guys.
And that's what I'm saying. It's hilarious to me because a lot of so though the film we obviously didn't get Kane Hodder as Jason. We had Kai Kersinger. That was the director's choice. He wanted Jason to be more Frankenstein-esque and tall compared to Jason Kane Hodder, to which he eventually talked about, in later years to come. I know there's a lot of animosity when that happened. But him and Ken are cool again after, was it Lee, the director, cast Ken Kersinger as Freddy, I mean, as far as Jason. But also, we see still Freddy Krueger involved in the movie where he was technically in a dream sequence, Counter Cat Crystal Lake, which is a callback to Abernathy's script and other scripts where Freddy was a part of Cat Crystal Lake too. So I want to ask you, Pablo, final thoughts on the film. when you first saw it up until now, do you think it still kind of withstands what it kind of went through its hell, or is it a film that probably should have been left buried in production hell?
I gotta go. um, Again, I guess I'll be somewhat generic. Um, it was fun. It was good. Like it was a product of its era. I guess I'll say, to a degree. Um, After like the development hell and seeing how long it's been in that, after like all those scripts, and again, we apologize. Due to time constraints, we only covered a few. Um, what they settled with was all right. It could have been better. It could have been gorier, a little darker, more scarier. I feel like again with Freddy, they gave too much into like the comedy aspect with him. Because my favorite silly line was when he finds was it Kelly Rowland, and he's like, "How sweet, Darkwing."
Yeah. Or that fucking pinball scene where he's having Jason in the dream world and oh tilt. Like, all
Yeah,
right, come on now, man.
it's like all right. Um, but yeah, as far as like what they made, it was cool. But again, it could have been so much better just if they would have just got their heads out of their asses, toned the coke down just a little bit, or maybe even more.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we could have agreed on this like a lot sooner. And I feel if everyone else would have been cool with it, we would have had, a lot more cooler like crossovers and stuff. But again, it's just, I don't know. I guess I kind of get it because it's like, this is my baby, it's my creation. Like, why I want to make a movie where my boy like loses to like this other guy. You know what I mean?
Of course, of course.
Uh,
A lot of ego so involved in the writing process for
yeah,
sure.
that was a huge thing with this. Huge. Like just
Oh
reading the
yeah.
interview and the way they like talked about it. Like, yeah, like Carla just said, Ash versus Freddy versus Jason. Like that would have been cool. Or hell, like even having like a series where just Ash like fucking up all these slashers just cause.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh, absolutely.
Like personally, I'm still waiting. Shout out to Tim Seeley. I'm still waiting on the Hack Slash show because in that comic, it's about Cassie Hack. She's like a final girl that like goes and takes out slashers, and they've had crossovers with um Child's Play, Reanimator, and like a bunch of other ones, even The Crow and shit. Like, come on! I mean, hell,
Yeah,
like
no.
nowadays they could go ahead and do freaking very much product of its time as evidenced by the box office. Oh yeah, all the new metal. I mean, new metal's still
That dude,
cool.
that fucking soundtrack though slap though,
Oh,
dude.
fire, fucking fire. But yeah, like again, like even now, I'd still kill to see like a freaking Jason versus Michael Myers or something if that were possible. A really funny
Yeah,
one
well,
would be Child's Play versus Leprechaun.
which we'll get into that part next episode. Which, folks, again, but with Pablo's schedule in mind, we did have a Leprechaun planned out, but with all much material from this fucking script in this book,
Yeah, this
we
took
need
a
to do
lot longer
episode at
than
least.
anticipated,
Yeah.
and we still didn't have enough time.
No, we don't. But that's okay though, because it this I like to think we were kind of like the people to give the folks a bit of a teaser into
Yeah,
the comedy act it was of these scripts.
yeah. Eventually, if you guys want to look it up or look up the book, I mean, obviously, called
That's
Slash of the Titans by Dustin McNeil.
yes,
Um, but yeah, it's a doozy of a read.
it
Um,
is.
I mean, at the same time too, I feel we can always come back to this at a later
We
date
well
because
we
we
can.
haven't touched everything. Not
Absolutely.
well,
Well, I wanted to let last 5 minutes of the show. Want to ask how you been? Any new plans at all? Anything going on new or?
um, uh, despite things that have transpired recently, doing the best I can. Um, I miss my boy very much. But most recently, I did do a pop up horror market with at a Revolution Brewery with my boys at the Horror House. Check them out if you're ever in Chicago. That was a really good event. Made a lot of good money. I actually it was nice to chat with people for once. To actually like have a minute, and they asked about the podcast a lot. which is
Mhm.
pretty neat. And I was like, sure. I was just me and my buddy talking about horror and like other things. It's not just horror all the time. Like I've already brought my friends along for the most recent like series or franchise like review and chat. I plan to do more of that and stuff, and then I'll have other artist buddies come on through, and just as I mentioned before, I just want to help everybody grow and be good. I'll put Tom on blast with all his music and stuff. He's a very
On
very
blast.
talented man. I appreciate you for all that you do, buddy. You've been here. What about
Of
you? What
course.
do you what do you what do you got going on? Especially after
Uh,
this, huh? What you got going after this? No.
yeah, whatever. Fucking guy. Um,
I feel like
so I right now, so I will say this here. I kind of teased it this week, but there's one more Hood track that hasn't been released yet that I'm releasing. Not gonna say to you. I'm gonna have a surprise date soon where I'll just release it and then go from there. Maybe doing a bit of a touring with a band called Gunshine, drum techie from my guy Tommy Salzburg soon, so that's pretty cool. In the studio with a new project called Funeral Covenant. It's gothic
oh,
doom metal. Shout out to Phil, Mark, Gina, Joel.
nice.
Um, Part of the double. We're gonna get back together soon, so just stay busy and then doing artwork, man. I think this is the year we're gonna try to make some fucking prints to sell soon instead of just
Let's
being a jackass
go.
and saying it. Just actually make something out of it.
Yeah, I need to get on my print game too. Like I've been slacking, but me and my team
Yeah.
we're there.
uh, well, yeah, the stickers at least, which is fucking cool, man. The stickers and then a couple other things as well. So you're ahead of the game more than I am.
If you need help, just ask.
Oh, I know, I know.
Ooh. But no, yeah, y'all
uh,
definitely should check out Tom's music. It slaps just as hard as my one chanclas.
Aggressive.
Eee.
Yeah, but thanks for asking, man. I appreciate it. So, any final comments for this episode? Anything else you want to say?
Um, no, I mean, I just the usual as always. Shout out to you, the team I got here. My homies up at Monster Man Creations, everybody who's involved with the art and whatnot. I'll repeat their names just cause. So Lady Witch Fox, CIH Studios, like I said, Tenchi Arts underscore GTS on Instagram for that animation he did of me and my boy Bruno. Always grateful for him. It's funny because his name's Pablo too. So I'm gonna make a Spider-Man meme where we're like, ugh.
To the point.
Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna have a lot more art coming out, especially with my more pricier artist, whom I call Tezzy for short. She's made a lot of my female characters extra thick. So that goes with horror, boobies and everything. Yay! But again, shout out to everybody here, Tom, Maurice, everyone at B Side, everyone at Monster Creations. Thank y'all so much for helping put all this together. Thank you for those who tuned in. Feel free to send your questions and whatnot if you have any, so we can have some other little segments in future episodes. Because like I had posted one, I'm rambling a little bit. I had posted one asking about what's the most obscure or funniest random way you've seen a movie, and my answer was I watched Human Centipede 2 on my 3DS. through, through Netflix. And on that note, that'll be it for me. Thanks, y'all. Everybody have a good rest of your weekend. Enjoy your Saturday. Stay safe. Love y'all. Peace.
Take care of yourself, guys. Bye bye.